All right. Hello everyone. This is session 2. Let's go live and I'll share my screen. Just a second. All right. Let's start. So last time we discussed about inheritance and polymorphism. Let's see what Perplexity have for us this time. And again, this is going to be 30 minutes video. I couldn't start it on time. I mean, the plan was to start it at 1 p.m., but I don't think that's going according to the plan. So I'll just gonna do 30 minutes of session whenever I have the time. So today, let's see, we have this is the next level abstraction with interface or abstract classes. Okay, I don't understand it. Let's go through what Perplexity wants us to do. Now that your system is doing well, let's model abstraction. Example, not all things in a library are books. You could have magazines, newspapers, etc., but they all share the common behavior, print details, maybe borrow, etc. That makes sense. So we can make book an abstract class, cannot be directly instantiated, but serves as a template. Define abstract methods or common methods in it. Potentially introduce an interface like borrowable, like methods borrow and return books. Okay. So instead of book being a concrete class, right? And now we want to make it an abstract class and have other classes that instantiate the book class, right? So, magazine, newspapers, etc. Obviously, it won't be called a book, but let's start with that. Convert book into an abstract class, define an abstract method, get category that must be implemented by ebook and printed book, right? Update print details to our show category. And this is the expected output result. It didn't give us mm, the main code to run this test, but anyway, we'll ask it later. All right. Do you want to take this next step with abstract classes first? Interface principle. Let's start with abstract classes. All right. So let's make book an abstract class. I think all we need to do is add abstract keyword. Now it's an abstract class. Let's see if this throws any error. No. Second thing we have to do is define an abstract method. So public extract get category. So get category is the method we want to extract, and after the access modifier, this goes before the return time. Okay. So let's do it on the top here. So it's a public method, but it's abstract. It returns a string, and the method is get category, right? And this needs to be implemented. So probably this is not needed. That's all. Which essentially means any class that extends or instantiate book has to implement this method, right? So if you see, if we go to ebook, it will throw an error, must implement the inherited abstract method get category, right? We'll do that. Let's do it. So it's gonna be same. It's gonna return string get category. Wait, what was the name again? Get category, right? Get category, and it's gonna return ebook. We'll come back to update it, but let's see this, right? We need to add over right here, I mean, we are not overriding anything, but anyway, so whenever you implement the abstract method in a class, we need to add override. Okay, makes sense. Same thing we'll do in the printed books. Let's take this, let's go to printed books. Let's add it here. All right. Implement this thing. This is done. Update print details. So the ask is like print detail should also print the category, right? So we have print details. Wait, this thing plus category, which is get category. All right, and same will add to the other class. Probably we'll need to update these strings according to the ask, but let's just do it for now. All right. So this is how it expects us to log it. Category ebook, then the detail, and then that. Okay. So instead, we will have another print. Revert it back, and here you have all right, and let me copy that to printed books also. And remove this. Okay, so we have category, then the actual book details, and then the book type specific attributes, right? File size and weight. Refactor, run your code. Okay, let's run it. Terminal, and that's it. All right, so that looks correct. Let's pass it back to Perplexity. Here's the output. All right. That was abstract class, abstract method. Now, next step is to do interface based design. Actually, I wanted to show one other thing. So, when we made book an abstract class, this also means we can't directly instantiate book. So for example, in my main, I can't just do something like book ebook is equal to new book. It won't allow me. I mean, obviously, I am not passing any attributes, but book is abstract, cannot be instantiated. So that's another thing. All right, let's go back. What's the next step? Interface-based design. So a common pattern in object-oriented programming is to have interfaces sh- for shared behaviors, not specific to the type hierarchy. In library, many items might be borrowable. So we have to create a borrowable interface which has methods like borrow item, return item. You can include a boolean to track if the item is borrowed. Implement borrowable in the book subclass. Right. Test these methods. Try borrowing and returning a book in your test code and print appropriate message. Will I proceed to add any extra feature to the current design? Let's proceed. system. All right. Um, let's first create the interface. Let's create it here itself. Java interface borrowable. Right. So this is our interface borrowable, and it has methods is borrowed, borrow item, and return item. So void borrow item. I think that's how it's defined. Probably not. Let's see. Then and let's see. Return item and public boolean is all right. Definitely it's not right, but let's just see. Do not specify body, which is fine, but I have to tell it's a function, right? How does that work? Expected this. Probably just like this. Yeah. Alright. It tells that it's a function which returns void and it takes nothing, right? Um but I mean when you're returning an item, you should be able to. Anyways, the may not have been instantiated. Uh, is borrowed. I feel like this should be fine, but then this one, the blank final field is borrowed, may not have been instantiated. But I don't want to instantiate it. That's the whole point. The blank final field is borrowed, may not have been instantiated. All right, let's say it started with false, something like this. Nope. All right. No, it's fine. Does not follow naming convention. I think that's okay, fine. That is asking us to name it is borrowed, so we have kept the same name. And I wasn't aware that you have to set the value of the variable, uh, default value, which is fine. Let's see. Now implement borrowable in ebook and printed book. Okay, add a private boolean field borrowed to each class. Update borrow item to toggle this field and print a message. All right, I think I'll need some help here because I haven't implemented a interface yet in Java specifically, but let's see. Um, all right, let's see. Let's ask it to. Can you please do this task? Oh, this is, oh, so we are creating a function, not a, all right, that is aware about that. Update the ebook and printed books to implement borrowable, right? So extends book and implements borrowable. That's correct. So ebook books implements borrowable. Now, since it implements borrowable, so it has to have those implementation, right? Borrow item is borrowed and return item. So let's add those variables. Is borrowed. borrowed, implement boolean false. That should work. And here also you have to add override. Okay. The other two method, void return item. This has to do something, and then public void borrow item. This has to. I'm not sure if this override is needed. Yeah. Seems like doesn't make sense, but anyway, seems like convention. So we'll anyway do it. Alright, and return item. So borrow item should just set. Okay, I think then we need a variable here. Private boolean is borrowed. Alright, and return is borrowed is false. All right, seems correct. But then, I mean, this is duplicated, right, across ebook and printed book, which is not ideal. We'll see what we can do about it. Here, printed books. Implements variable, and we need to declare spotted. All right, that's all good. Now let's see what's the next task. So we did this, we did this, we did this. Okay, it's a little different. It's not borrowed. Just fine, we can just let's change this. Return item, return successful, and I mean I can do is borrowed. It's okay, fine. Probably it will check the console logs later, so I don't want to worry about that. All right, so we're good. Going back, printed books, update the printed book class, main method testing. So this is our test. I'll take it, go back to main and update it. All right, let's run it again and see what we're getting. So we're getting false and borrowed successful. Oh, because we didn't update the methods in the ebook, I believe. Right, so just copy this and put it in the ebook. All right, let's do it again. Cool. So this is the output. Let's pass it back and see what we have next for us. Here is the output. So, all right. So this is complete. You now have a design that includes encapsulation, right? Association, right? Inheritance, right? Polymorphism, yes, and abstraction and interfaces, right? Okay. Complexity, or pause here and try to discuss a particular concept in more depth. So let's see how much time we have. We have 10 minutes. I'd like to add more complexity, right? Let's add another complexity layer. Exception handling and validation. You might want, so okay, let's say currently the borrowing system is simple, but in a real library you might want to prevent borrowing if some condition fail, invalid ISBN or book is reserved by someone else. You might want to throw exception when an invalid operation is attempted, right? So add custom exception validation. Create a custom exception class called borrow exception that extends exception borrowing or returning errors, right? um, to throw borrow exception instead of printing error messages. For example, if trying to borrow an already borrowed book or return a book that is not borrowed. Validation in the constructor. Throw illegal if ISBN is null, empty, or author is null, right? Illegal argument exception. Update your main class to handle these exceptions with try catch blocks and print user friendly messages. Yeah, that sounds nice. Let's do it. So first, let's create a custom exception class called borrow exception. Java creates an exception option message borrow exception. So here is borrow exception, which extends exception. Right. Borrow construct an instance of a message. Okay. So what do we want to do? Signal borrowing or returning error. I think that should be fine. Now update borrow item return and book and print to throw borrow exception instead of printing a message. Alright. So here in our printed book, borrow item and return item. Here instead of just printing already borrowed, we'll throw the exception. Throw borrow exception and we'll give it this one already borrowed. Right, what's the error? Do we have to create a class? I was not sure about that. Yeah, this is fine. That's just a habit from another language, but so I think we have to do throws borrowed expression. So one thing I know is if you want to throw these kind of exception, we have to declare that on the variable, on the function, that this function throws the exception, so that whoever is calling it can uh, catch it and do, some business behavior on top of it. So throws exception. It's part of the current package only, right? This is Java Oops, right? Printed books. Hmm. I don't think we need to import it, but I don't know why it's not coming. Um, yeah, let's see. Let's ask Cursor. All right, let's see. So interface has to declare it. Let's see. Seems like so borrowable interface. Borrow item. All right. Let's not worry about it. Let me push this up so any change it makes is visible. I mean, I did that, right? I did the same thing. And I tried to do this also. Okay, so we'll do it on our own terms. But yeah, I think the compiler was slow or something. So let's close everything. First of all, the borrow interface should declare that borrow item throws this exception. So exception. All right, and then printed ebook here instead of this throws for now it doesn't throw any error. Do we need to declare it here? I don't think so. Yeah. All right, we'll keep it like this. We'll come back to that. And same for ebook. Here also, no, actually, we need to implement for both. Return item add. All right, copy this. Copy this. Go to ebook. Instead of this, already borrowed. Here also, the item was not borrowed. Now let's see what's error throws. Okay. I think that's just trying to resolve it. It will come back. So everything is crying now. Yeah, I think it's just the compiler taking time to process it. But anyway, in our main class, we will catch it. Right, so try. All right, let's see. It's done. So yeah, it's not the compiler. Borrow exception string is undefined for the type ebook. But ebook implements borrowable throws borrow exceptions. Do we have to say string also? No. Okay. Then why? All right, let's again go to cursor for help. Oh, so did yeah, you have to instantiate it. I think yeah, it added this throws borrow exception, but not sure if it's required because the interface already declares it, right? Okay, stop. I'll keep it for now and see like if removing it matters or not. Right? So ebook is fine. Run it again. So it's working fine, but I would like to remove this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Seems like it's required. Even though then is this not required? Because I don't want to duplicate this, right? Both are required, which is weird. Anyway, let's just go ahead with this. Printed book also keep all borrows exception already booked. All right, I think this is good. Now going back, yeah, I wanted to highlight this also. So this is string error. For every error, it will run this thing. Right. So earlier I was thinking it will throw just this error, and that's how it works in JavaScript at least. That the first error it throws, it goes to the catch block and the you know system terminates. But here seems like it runs both of them, runs the catch block for each error. All right, let's pass this info back to our Perplexity.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, yeah. I'm not printing, right? You're printing it. Okay, so this error message is different, right? Okay, cannot borrow. The book is already borrowed. Okay, so printed book. All right. The first borrow succeeds. The second throws this one. Blah blah blah. To explore collection, more details, user management. Okay, so we can go to the next level of complexity, but for now, I would like to pause it since we are over time. Um, just as a recap, so today, first we did abstract class and interface implementation, right? That was the first thing. First, we did abstract class, then we did the interface, and then we so yeah, we'll continue adding more complexity to this. I would like to move this, shared logic, return item and borrow item to some common place if possible. I mean, if this doesn't change too much, right? We can keep it at a shared place, but we'll see it next time. So that's it for now, and let me stop the recording.